The first blooms I'm going to be showing you are from the Lonicera hispidula or California honeysuckle. You can't really see the blooms too well because this plant is not profusely blooming. They're more like just scattered around, but I'm giving you an idea, so I'm not sure if this is what it's going to typically look like when it blooms, or will it bloom more in the future as it keeps maturing. So I just want to give you an update just to show what it's doing. And also took some pictures just so you can see. I'm going to share those with you and so you can maybe appreciate it a little bit more what the blooms look like. But I was able to capture this moment on video here. It's going to clear up soon, but you'll just see how beautiful the blooms are. So they come in shades of pink, purplish. It's just a very beautiful bloom. So I'm hoping for more blooms next year as this California honeysuckle keeps maturing. And this is the Salvia apiana compacta. If you remember in a previous video, I thought that maybe this could be the wrong plant. I thought it was that it could be the Salvia apiana, the regular one, which gets really huge. But I did more research and I was able to find some information on Facebook where somebody was growing the same plant, but it got really huge for them as well. And also I could tell now because the leaves are smaller than the regular Salvia apiana. And I think the reason why it got huge like this is because I maybe gave it a little bit more water than I should, because it has put on a lot of growth. I'm not going to water it anymore all this summer just to see what happens. If it survives, it'll survive, which I think it will because it is a drought tolerant plant. But I have to mention that it's a 1 year old plant, so that's where the danger comes in. I'm not sure if it's old enough to let it go without water all summer, but we'll see. I did trim back this plant just a little bit, just enough for it to fit in perfectly in its space, but it's not encroaching on the space of any of the surrounding neighboring plants, and I did a really good job. And I didn't take a video of it, but maybe I'll share that with you guys if I do it again next year, which I will if this plant survives this summer without water. And now we're going to look at the Eriogonum grande or red flowered buckwheat. Look how beautiful it looks. This plant put on a lot of growth this time around. It spread out more than I thought that it would, but luckily there's not a lot of plants around that area, so I kind of let it spread out. And but I did have to kind of put it in check on one side because there's an outside rose planted next to it. But look how beautiful it is. It's like a big ball of pinkish, reddish looking plant. It looks like a big pom-pom. Like the Salvia apiana compacta, this plant is teeming with life. There's all kinds of insects on it. And right next to it is the Eptide rose. It's blooming really nicely and it looks healthy. If you remember in the past, one of the past videos, I mentioned that this plant was overwhelmed by grasshoppers and they basically chewed it up. But now that I have that buckwheat planted next to it, it's harboring insects that are potentially killing and attacking those grasshoppers. And right there on the other side, you see one of the California fuchsias, or two of them. One is the regular California fuchsia, and the other one is the California fuchsia Everett's choice. But look how beautiful this buckwheat is. It is absolutely stunning. And this is the Sonoma Coast yarrow, and this is just starting to bloom here, but I want to show you that this plant is very, very beneficial. It attracts a lot of ladybugs. I think this is one of the first plants that I see that has a lot of ladybugs in it. And I hear that the Sonoma Coast yarrow does attract its very own aphids, believe it or not. So there's a very special aphid that this plant attracts, which attracts ladybugs. And I'm sure once you have them there, the ladybugs can spread into the garden as well. Now that you've seen the ladybugs in this plant, let me show you some of the blooms. So that here in this latest video, you can see the blooms. I thought they were supposed to be bigger, but maybe, I'm not sure, but they're beautiful anyhow. And this is the first time that this plant blooms for me. I didn't even think that this plant was going to make it. It just looked very sickly initially, but now it's just looking beautiful. Though it has browning at the bottom, but it just looks nice overall. And it's blooming and it's doing a good job in attracting those ladybugs. And this yarrow is a California native, and I believe it grows or it comes from Sonoma Coast, hence the name Sonoma Coast yarrow. And it is a low mounding, growing ground cover yarrow. And now I'm going to show you the California fuchsia Everett's Choice. If you remember in a past video, this plant lost its shape. There was like a big gap that formed in the middle of the plant and it just collapsed. But now look how beautiful it is. It kept up its shape. And one of the reasons is because I started watering this plant once a month. So I'm not giving it a lot of water. So I think that's why it kept its shape, and just amazing, just so beautiful. And it is teeming with what do you call those? The hummingbirds. I see a lot of hummingbirds on it, and I'm sure there's insects on it as well. But I mainly see hummingbirds on it. It is just, I get so happy when the hummingbirds come to feed because I know that I'm providing them with something that they really need. And here's the other Everett's Choice California fuchsia. This one is not doing really well. It did okay last year, so I might get rid of it. It might not be the spot for it. I'll either get rid of it or just plant it somewhere else, but this is definitely not the spot for it. As you can see there, it's drying out. It just has patches of dryness. It has green patches as well. It is still flowering. The hummingbirds are still visiting it, but maybe I can do better with a different plant. So that was a little video that I wanted to share with you guys of what's blooming in the Gothic garden of Usher.